Cancer, the moon is in Virgo and she's asking you, have things been feeling out of place? Is there somewhere that you need to get in order to get back in, get some, just some sort of semblance of organization? Well, this moon is really setting us up to get back organized and get back on track there. So stay tuned to find out how to work with these energies. But before we jump into that, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Cancer. And it keeps us organized. And for those of you who are new, welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here. Just know that when you're coming across this video, you're in sync with the moon and she loves that. And this is also for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, maybe even Chiron, wherever Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based on our ruler here, the good old moon. And I'll talk about this is Rhonda. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what day she's in, when she's going to avoid, of course, is all those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Oh, wait, what? I'm talking into the mic. Let me get myself together here, Cancer. All right, Cancer. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. It's just great energy all around here, Cancer. And Cancer, for those of you who are, if you just had a birthday that just passed, mine was just yesterday, so well, actually when I'm recording this, it's today, so woo, there's that. And for those of you who have a birthday today or have one that are getting ready to come up, happy birthday, getting it. But yeah, happy lap around the sun. You made it, you've done it, you've made another year. It's been hopefully a successful year. We can look back where you've succeeded, see where you could have brought it a bit more, and then take that into the next year. And if you are wanting to get it, if you're curious about seeing what's coming up for you for the year, I'm offering, while we're in Cancer season, submit your DM me either in LinkedIn or in Instagram, and I'll do like a basic chart recording video. And I want to do it to where we kind of do them as examples for different people to kind of see how to look for it on your own chart, to kind of give you the tools to kind of see, like, okay, my son's in this house, so these are the themes that I want to be thinking about. Or it's in this house and I want to be thinking about relationship themes or networking themes or communication, learning skills. So if that's something that's curious in you, definitely check down in the description box below. I have all those links down there for you. But yes, before we get into this energy here, I normally ring my bell before I start these things, but I think I'm going to start doing this beforehand or during the reading. So if you have this plugged in somewhere, there's just going to be a bell tone, so just be mindful of that if you need to adjust your volume. But let's get some good vibes in here, then let's get to it. All right, Cancer, mixing it up. Hopefully enjoy that. I was like, you know what? This feels right. We're just going with the flow here. And Cancer, depending on when you're watching this, happy Mars Day. Mars is associated with Tuesdays, and this is a great day to get the energy moving. This is a great day for working out. Great day for maybe you need to get some moving done. Maybe just a very kind of active day. Maybe just going for a walk. Maybe you're going to go maybe get some friends together. Maybe go play some kind of sport out in the field, something like that. That could be really fun. I was actually walking yesterday, and there are all these people. It's actually pretty warm over here now, hence the lack of fireplace here. But yeah, they were out there just doing the whole baseball thing. I'm like, good one on you. Like walking will be plenty for me. But yeah, this is a great day to really kind of help get the blood flowing. Mars hours as well. I like to plan my workout days, whether they be like just like real physical. If we're doing even more yoga, I'll try to time them more towards Mars hour to really kind of, it's like, when was the last time I got the energy moving? Or if we just happen to be a Mars hour or Mars day, it's just like, let's go for a walk, or let's go there's something to, or just like even like, when was the last time I kind of checked in with my posture? Maybe do just some light stretching here and there. So just something to think about. And I feel like too, with Mars still being in Taurus for a little bit, just kind of checking into your diet. Mars and Taurus can be where you can store a lot of things in, but Taurus sometimes can have a harder time moving energy. So that's just something to be mindful of as well. And again, this is a very constructive day, especially for this Mars day, because depending on when you're watching this, the moon is going to be entering into the meticulous sign of Virgo at about 6:47 a.m., and that's going to be Pacific time, and she's in a waxing crescent phase. And now when you think about Virgo, Virgo is the problem solver. They have this analytical mind. They're ruled by the sign of Mercury. And Mercury right now is in Leo, that very strong, confident, creative energy. Leo is not just like that, just like, someone, when you're thinking just like creative, it's just like, not just someone who can paint. It's that sort of like natural intelligence when we're talking about this energy. So this could be tapping into your innate skills. Let's say you're having troubles with the relationship. Well, then maybe we need to, maybe you, that's not the greatest example, but it's just like analyzing where we're needing to bring order to things. This is a time to kind of think outside of the box. This is a time to really just see where you've not been leading with your heart too, I feel. Because when I'm bringing up Mercury here, it's because it's the dispositor of where this moon is at. And with Mercury being in Leo, there's this self-expression that's coming through with this. So I also feel too, this can be with this waxing crescent. This can be an energy where your ideas, your intentions that you set for the Cancer new moon could really start coming to fruition. You could really start getting some ideas. You could really start getting some stuff organized. Maybe you're wanting to start writing a book, or maybe you're wanting to write a screenplay, or maybe you're wanting to put together a PowerPoint presentation, or maybe you're creating some sort of seminar, some sort of class thing, or something along those lines. This could also be too a great time with Virgo to learn some new type of skill too. If you're not familiar with like finances, then taking some sort of course, learning the details about that, or thank you guys. But I just feel like really kind of this Virgo moon, I feel, can be a great time not to just look for places that are wrong, but more so just like a taking stock. Because a thing with Virgo too, it can be very critical sometimes in a lower expression. So we want to be mindful of that. But I feel this can be just getting a broad overview of just like checking how am I feeling? Where has my routine maybe gotten off? Maybe I haven't been moving the body as of late. Maybe the foods that I've been eating have been a little bit more processed food. Maybe we want to cook some more things, or making more time for that. Maybe the rest has gotten a little bit off there. And so that's something to just kind of look into as well. One thing too I like to kind of bring up when we're talking about moon in Virgo is this energy of like this self-acceptance, accepting yourself as perfect, flaws and all. And Virgo has been associated, or Chiron has been associated with Virgo. And I like that because we all have a Chiron wound. We all have something that we're coming in that's needing to be healed, that we're working on. But in that wound, what may seem like something that's crippling actually unlocks this whole bunch of gifts. Chiron's glyph, I don't know how well you can see this here, but it's a key. Basically, he's unlocking stuff. I don't think the universe could be any more clear about that one. So I feel this is too just to remember how perfect you are, even in the areas that may feel like imperfections. Just looking at that and learning to love yourself as just as wholly. In learning, I feel, into tending to that insecurity, that wound, you learn new things, and then you can share these gifts with others. It's fantastic, and learning through, like going through my whole escapist phase and heavy drinking and things, I had to learn things to combat that, because I figured if I'm going to party like real hard, I want to make sure that the body can handle it. So I was working with I worked with a lot of herbs, milk thistle, St. John's, were real heavy liver hitters. And it wasn't the great, and I would not advise that. But it was just like in that, these are some of the gifts that I got from that, this herbalism, learning through even like astrology to get into the more kind of mental sides of things. And it's been those, so these are just some examples, and now I can and take that stuff in, put them into practical application to be of service, and let them to continue to be things that I do on a regular basis. It encourages that continued habit. So this can be too an adjustment of habits, breaking down something that's not working and turning it into something more constructive. Instead of my escapism, now I'm using it for creative measures more so. So just think things along those lines. But that is some ways that I would say that we could really kind of work with this kind of Virgo moon energy. This is forming a trine, or excuse me, a sextile with your Cancer placements, depending on where those are at. So that forms opportunities. And again, trines, they're seen as a softer aspect, but don't sleep on what a trine can do. An opportunity could be to maybe find some time to walk more, but walking more could cure a lot of stuff. Maybe now you start getting less headaches. Maybe now you start, feeling just like a bit more healthier. Maybe you feel like wanting to push more. It's the long-term effects that becomes, but it's like those little things, those little wins that equal to that big win, and then keeping on compounding from there. Virgo is very efficient with that. It's about keeping that cycle going. So love that. And if your moon is in Virgo, this is a very cool place for the moon. Be mindful of of being overly critical, because with having a Virgo moon, I feel like you are aware of, there's, again, that inner critic can be very harsh on itself. So I feel like finding like little things to ground you in, like day-to-day things, like keeping up with your routines, as far as like making sure to, if you find yourself like with a lot, let's say you're a Cancer sun and you have like a Virgo moon, and maybe you're feeling a lot of emotions, something to maybe help ground that would be maybe to find some, maybe you're doing, I actually know this Virgo moon, she does this, like she does a lot of canning of like different fruits, and maybe different, just like canning of like jams, I think, and stuff along those lines. So that can be one constructive way. Or maybe you take up knitting, or maybe you're working in a garden. Virgo's like the harvest, so maybe that's something that you could potentially do. But it's those routines that can and Virgo's it's not just meant to be this kind of boring sign. It's, you can turn that into something. This can be very soothing when there's that sense of order. Then you really can get a lot more things done. Virgo moons are very constructive. I feel when they're on a routine, they're the types that just like, they run a very well-oiled machine. And so that's what I feel like if you're a moon in Virgo, that moon is needing that sense of routine. Pay attention to the foods that you're eating, paying attention to your health. That's a big thing with Virgo. And that's not medical advice, but maybe getting regular check-ins with your doctor, making sure you understand, what's going on within your body and things, that could be just very important Virgo things to pay attention if your moon is in Virgo. So, but again, very smart, very in the mind when we're talking about with Virgo moon. So be mindful of like an overactive like nervous system, anxiety, things along those lines. Doing like, not medical advice, but I have a Gemini moon, and especially since like exploring myself in astrology and getting as curious as my mind can be, it can get a running. And so I find like, if you work with like something as simple as just like chamomile tea, let it steep for, I'd say at least 5-10 minutes, let it get a strong cup, that can really help calm the nerves. That's a very, very easy one to kind of work with. So just something to think about there. Now, last little thing, and this again, I feel like even though this void of course energy, considering the flavor of it, and it's a very short one, but this can really help you get eyes on some things, because on July 11th, and this will be a Jupiter day, which is Thursday, we're going to be having the moon go void of course from 6:54 p.m. to about 7:06 p.m. And again, that's Pacific time. And the void of course is when the moon forms her final aspect with the celestial body, and she just reflects on her time while she was in Virgo. What did I learn during this time? What were some things that came up? What were some habits that I've learned that I need to tend to, and what things do I want to carry on, But it's a great time to wrap things up. It's not really an ideal time to start anything, just a time for you to just kind of rest again, to kind of roam the void, do some deep breathing. If you haven't, between this time, maybe just sit for a few minutes. And one thing that I like that I've been, and actually I need to update this. One thing that what I've been inviting for the Void of Course time is I added all the time up for this lunar cycle, and we have 49 hours and 25 minutes of Void of Course time. So I will say during this Void of Course time, considering how short some of these can be, is throughout this lunar cycle, keep track of how many hours that you, or how many hours, minutes that you take for yourself each day, that you carve out during this lunar cycle. And I mean, that could be for working out, that can be for gardening, that could be you're just sitting listening to some music and just daydreaming, just like maybe looking up at the clouds, and maybe you go on a picnic, maybe you're hanging out with family, maybe you're doing some meditation, maybe it could be a number of things. But what does that personal downtime look for you? Preferably, I feel like, time to unplug a little bit, but if you're doing any sort of like group things, maybe do like a group video game type of night with the family, that could be really fun, something along those lines. But considering how many days we'd be about 6 days in, I've probably gotten at least 12 hours of, because I've been maybe not 12 hours, that might be a little sensitive. I've probably gotten about 6 hours, maybe a little bit more. I'd say even maybe closer to about 8 hours of just like personal time that I've taken. That includes like my meditation practices each day. I do either like workouts or I do yoga each day. So it can compound. It doesn't seem as lofty as a goal as one may think. If anything, we might even hit the mark. And then it's like, if I got all this excess time, maybe how can I channel that a bit more constructively? So that can be a way to look at this Void of Course time there too. So that's how I invite you to play around with these energies. And if we have days that are a bit longer than others, I would pay attention to that, like pay attention to those days a little more thoroughly. And I'll highlight those days as we talk about them. But with this one being kind of short, and I would say this is, you can just kind of breeze, but this day you might just kind of come and go, you may not even notice it. But the aspect that she's forming with is in opposition to Neptune. And so I would say you may notice this if you have been maybe in a lot of escapist tendencies, maybe as of late, because that opposition between Neptune and the moon could be where we're just getting, when the emotions come up, we're getting lost in things. We take maybe some tough stuff comes up, we don't know how to deal with them. I have the sun opposed Neptune, and that's a tough transit. My partner's actually wrapping up Neptune's been opposing his natal sun, and that's now starting to come to a close. But there is that tendency for escapism that can come through that. You want to watch, any sort of like drinking, any sort of drug use, any sort of even like video games, any sort of like binge TVs. But it's one thing to take a day and just needing to veg out. But when we've been doing it for maybe a week, maybe we want to just kind of evaluate some things. Let's so just something to be just kind of mindful of there with this energy. But I feel like this could just bring some things to your awareness, maybe I've been kind of doing some midnight snacking or something along those lines. So, but I feel like this is not a time not a time where it's like the moon wants you to be harsh again with the Virgo moon. It's just acknowledging what it is, seeing, how it's contributing to the benefits or not, and then making the adjustment, and then seeing where that energy flows from there. So a very supportive couple of days, I feel, with this moon being in Virgo. So, and if you're curious about how these energies are working more personally with your chart, wanting to see what maybe personal aspects are going on, where this house placement is that the moon is traveling through while you're going through this energy, definitely check down in the description box below. I have a link to book a consultation call with me. We can find out what's going through with you. We can figure out what programs would maybe work best for you. I offer different services from 3-month ones to 6-month ones to do maybe even just kind of one-off ones. If we need to schedule different time stuff, break them up and stuff, we can definitely I can be flexible with those types of things. But if that's something that you feel like resonates, maybe you're coming up on your solar return there. If your sun's in Cancer and you want to get into that, or maybe you're happy happening with, we're getting ready to get up on Leo season here soon. Maybe you're looking at Leo moons coming up. You're thinking, how do I want to shine bright this year? So it's something to think about. Or maybe you got a partner that you know that's been curious about this. But yeah, if that's something that resonates, definitely that all that information is down in the description box below. And then last little bit there, Cancer, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings. So apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situation. But look at this here, Cancer. I look at you, empath. You got the empath card here. And this is a card of connect to self, cleanse, boundaries, and hold space. And I really like that this coming up with Virgo. Because one thing with Virgo energy sometimes is that, they are a sign that is connected to service, but sometimes Virgo can overgive itself sometimes. It can be where it'll give to itself to its detriment. So you want to make sure that you connect with your bodies from time to time, that you cleanse your energies. How it's one thing to be there and help, and that's always great, but make sure to hold space for you. This is giving me kind of like an Ace of Cups type of energy. It's hard to nourish others when you have nothing in your well to be. And this may be something where we're needing to enforce our boundaries, and not in the fact that necessarily people need to respect our boundaries. It's not necessarily their job it's not their job to uphold our boundaries. We have to hold that standard up high. So if someone is pushing you, then we need to make it a point. There are times where, for example, while we're talking about Virgo, my partner likes to do things where he'll pull, being playful, but likes to poke the bear. And I'm like, you know what? I'll be like, hey, I'm starting to feel some type of way, and I'm going to need you to stop. And it's like, he'll do it again. It's like, you know what? You're right. Thank you for letting me know that I have control in a situation. And then I'll remove myself. And that's the kind of response, and that's a light situation of it. But that is the type of things. It's not how I feel is none of his business. That he's not responsible for how I feel. I'm responsible for that. And so I feel like this is to connect, making sure to connect with how you're doing. Like sometimes I feel like with maybe even like Cancer energy, we may know when people need to take care of themselves, when they need to do this, but people don't always have that same level of awareness towards us. And it's not at any fault of theirs. It's just that with that water energy, there is this more natural empathic nature that comes with that. And so in order for people to reflect that and to respect that and to understand that, there needs to be an expression of that there too. And so that's where I feel like we need to just make sure that I feel like it's I feel like she's very vulnerable when she's standing in this, and I feel like she's got her hands even where they're resting. They're coming from her throat chakra, but it's coming from a higher place here. She's speaking from her third eye. She's speaking from a sense of understanding that maybe these others don't know what I'm feeling. Let me help. I'm connected to myself. Let me help them connect with me too to understand what's going on. And that could even kind of cleanse some. That's very interesting, Cancer. Let's get some tarot on this and get some details behind that. All right, thank you guys. All right, let's see what's going on here, Cancer. Oh my God, that's good. Talk about someone who exercises strong boundaries. You have the Empress here. You have this is the Tower card, which is the Change Your Life card here. And then this Archangel Chamael and the Empress is Archangel Gabriel. And then you have the Four of Michael, the Four of Raphael, and the Ten of Raphael here. Let's start with this Ten of Raphael, and I like this because this card talks about love and blessings fill your life, harmonious relationships with family members, happily ever after. And so if there has been this discord maybe that's been going on, and this could be with your family, but I feel like it can be a little broader than that, not just maybe your like immediate family. This could be maybe you have a friend group that you call family here, but there does seem to be a bit of a disturbance here, maybe something that's needing to be expressed, or maybe something where we're feeling disappointed about something that someone has done possibly here, because you got the Five of Raphael, that everything happens for a reason. Release regret and embrace embrace the opportunities for happiness. Search for a silver lining. Maybe there was an argument that happened. Maybe there was a misunderstanding. Maybe there's something that you thought that someone was doing something and it made you feel some type of way as opposed to you. You know, like, I feel like there's something here about, it's like I almost feel like there's this thing of where maybe thoughts and feelings are kind of getting in the way here, possibly, or just like they're getting confused here. Because Mercury just entered into Leo. We were just talking about that. It's been, well, not just entered, but it's been kind of settling in. Maybe the speech has been a little bit bolder, but this Four of Michael here, insights that come from quiet meditation, the need for more sleep or time off, seek relief from stress. And so if you've been maybe involved in a tense relationship, maybe in a friendship, in a family group, then maybe we need to maybe do some more things for yourself. Take an Empress Day here, because the Empress is time to, oh, that's interesting, time to act upon your plans. Creativity is rewarded, luxurious and abundant resources. So, you know, this could be some time where maybe you've been doing a lot of things and now you take some times for you. Maybe you explore some hobbies that you haven't made time for. Maybe you've been, and this could be, let's say, for example, if you have like a family, you know, maybe if you're like a parent, and maybe it's finding someone to, maybe finding a babysitter so that you can take the time to maybe act on a plan as far as like maybe like, and this doesn't mean like a career plan or anything, like a plan to maybe hang out with some people. Maybe you want to go to some sort of like art festival or hang out go to like a dinner thing or something to just help you kind of recharge again so that you can tap into more abundance and more inspiration. I'm even getting, because with the Tower here, and I love that you got Venus and Mars here, this Emperor, oh, excuse me, not Emperor, but hold on, this Archangel Chamiel, the Change Your Life, is a sudden revelation that offers freedom. Break free from procrastination. Embrace the opportunities that change brings. And so, and this could be something too, maybe with this Empress, maybe there is a plan that's wanting to be acted on. Maybe see where we've been kind of dragging our feet, where it's time, this Virgo Moon, to start analyzing how can you maybe start moving the needle towards your Ten of Raphael, towards your love and blessings full of life. You know, meditate on these things. You know, if this is something that maybe there's been some turmoil that's been coming up here, something that's been keeping you from staying in a clear mind. I'm not quite sure what that is, but it's a need to connect with you. And what better way than through, you know, whatever you're interested in, or maybe you've had to put aside something. You know, maybe you have this, maybe you started a family, but now, oh, I don't know, maybe you have maybe people that are going off, or maybe there could even be, I'm not quite sure what that could be. But however this might be translating in here, I do feel that these changes can bring about a more sense of, again, a sense of abundance and more, I feel like just a more sense of, leisure is the word that's coming to my mind, but maybe more time to, and that might be even like creating more time for recreation. That could be even another thing that's kind of coming in through here too. Making more time to quiet the mind, but because, you know, empaths tend to take on a lot of energy, you know, and things around. So, let's get a little bit more on this Cancer. Got a lot coming in for that. Let's see what else is coming in through here. Ooh, yeah, all these majors. So you have the 14th card, the Solutions card, which that is Temperance energy. The Wheel, which is the Wheel of Fortune, Big Papa. And then you have the Knight of Gabriel. And let's talk about the Knight of Gabriel. This is a card of confident, enthusiastic, courageous, charismatic. And this is time to take, you got another thing too, time to take action. Great passion for a cause, instinctively knowing just what to do. And with that instinctively, I'm getting that energy of cathexis, Cancer, that putting your emotional energy towards something here, allowing, if you've been, again, you got this Tower here talking about procrastination, time to take action on something, time to move the wheel in some sort of way. This is Archangel Jeremiel, and this is a card of new beginnings, end of delays, a change in a direction that offers happiness. And I feel like this is a wheel that this change of fate is something that you're gonna have to remove. Maybe there's this fear I'm getting here with this Five of Raphael. Maybe we're at the break. Are we gonna regret this decision if we make it? If we're gonna do this stuff? I'll tell you one of the wildest things when I got divorced. Like, it was like I didn't understand it, but it was really in that moment I was just like, everything just made sense. I wasn't quite sure. There was just like instinctive knowing, and then everything came full circle. We managed to do some healing. Things managed to repair all together, and it just kind of came to. And so I feel like there's something here that I feel like you may know that's needing to end here, Cancer. So in this solutions card, this Archangel Zadkiel, success that comes from objective compromise, self-control and patience, forgiving and healing energy. And I even giving that forgiving healing energy. Maybe this is something that maybe people have maybe been like asking you, for example, like when you're gonna start something, and maybe you're just not feeling ready yet, possibly, or maybe it's like vice versa. Maybe you have like a child who you feel like has all this stuff but doesn't do anything possibly with it, or but I feel like it's not just letting this. It's not, let's say, if that were the case, for example, it's not necessarily letting them be sloth, but it's like getting down to what is holding this up. If this is a fear of success, is it a fear of having to take more responsibility? Will I be able to handle it? It could be something along those lines, or maybe that's something more personal here. But whatever this thing is happening internally, if there's something that's preventing you from making a shift, putting that objectively, maybe talking about this with someone, possibly here. Maybe you're afraid that someone would be disappointed, but maybe they might surprise you. Maybe you feel a lot of emotions, but then Ten of Raphael, they come through thinking, oh my gosh, like, why didn't you tell me? You've been meditating here. Let's talk about this thing. Like, hey, I actually know someone who could blah, 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 But I do feel like if you're worried about something, figuring something, like a situation out, I feel like, Cancer, we're still in that Cancer, Sun's in Cancer, we're in that Cancer, we're in this Cancer lunar cycle. The moon is resetting itself, the lunar cycles are getting back on track. So this can really be the time where things again could feel like they start moving again. So maybe meditate with this Four of Michael on where you've been kind of holding back a little bit, where maybe you've been denying yourself abundance, or thinking that you're not enough, or that you don't deserve something here with the Empress being here. There's always so much. There's way more than enough in the universe than we really give ourselves credit for. And so I feel like, there's this, even that understanding of that with that Mars energy is getting moving. I feel like that when Mars, Venus, Jupiter energy, that is all meeting up. That's a whole big pocket of abundance that's happening. Energy towards benefic things, towards wisdom and understanding this. Let's get some advice from Mercury here, Cancer. Ooh, look, interesting, Cancer. All right. So you got that Sirens card again, and this is a card of use your voice, expansion, and freedom. And let's switch back over here, Cancer. And so I feel this use your voice is really being mindful. And when I say you're speaking abundance into your life, I understand when life is lifing. That's not to say that we're not ignoring the problems. It's just like I find it's when we're in a higher place, when we're in a positive mindset, we can operate more efficiently. Solutions come to us more clearly. I feel like we can, when we allow ourselves to maybe kind of, for Michael again, it feels like it's kind of quieting the mind and using your inside voice. looking for that sense of freedom and feeling that you have that control to move this needle around here. This, again, speaking this abundance in your voice, putting affirmations around here, maybe doing some sort of like guided meditations, possibly looking for maybe some sort of like life coach videos, possibly any sort of like inspirational sort of things that make you feel, again, that Empress energy that raises that vibration. Take the picture of the Empress, put that all over the place, and who doesn't want to live like that? Who doesn't want that sense of, that knows the sense that they're worth all of the abundance that the world is meant to. So that Knight of Gabriel, time to take action. Go. And that might even be too, maybe finding some sort of like great passion. Maybe you have a thing for graphic design, doing something with that possibly here. Maybe you have something with interior design, doing something with that. Or maybe you are crafty. Maybe you build cars. Maybe you have a way with science and whatever that is, go expanding minds. But I feel the solutions are here, but it's just asking the questions, and that forgiving and healing energy is just like, forgive you, like, because I feel like I'm getting something with that Virgo moon. It's like like needing to have know all the things, have all the answers, but sometimes we're not meant to have all the answers. We come with a piece and then we connect with other peoples of all the other pieces, and they bring another perspective into the mix. But you do have all this thing. What you have all you need within here. So, All right, Cancer. I think I'm gonna leave that there. So, if anything resonated with you, if you like that, give it a thumbs up, and share this if you know someone who may resonate with this, someone who might get something with this that may help raise their frequency, help shift that loop. Maybe give whatever that perspective that may be needed. And then subscribe, there you Empress. Hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each day. And then last little bit, if you are curious about what is going on in the weekly transits, as far as like the celestial chit chat that's going on in the sky, I do weekly videos talking about those, and this is outside of the moon there. And then I also do, on that same channel, I've been doing these little shorter videos talking about different planetary placements. I don't have a real specific time when I release those. It's just really just kind of when spirit moves me. And so I'll just release those. We're putting them in the the Soul Tribe archive. And the point of this is, yes, talking about the planetary placements, but it's more so if you have those placements, I would love if you comment on those in those videos too. If you have that placement, how that has been coming up with your life. What aspects do you have in that? Do you have any questions about those placements? Even we can, if we get enough people wanting to go a little bit deeper into this discussion, maybe we could even pull up some chart examples. So that could even be really fun. Look at that, Cancer. I love that. So if that's something that resonates with you, check those out. I'll have them all set up in different groups for you as well, in playlists, so you can check that all out there. Keeping it organized for you, working out that Virgo energy. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your Angel Oracle card here. And these Angel Oracle cards have different, this is the energy that is watching over you during this moon, and while the moon is in Virgo. Usually indicates some sort of days that may resonate with you, some periods of time, maybe even some crystals to work with. Or if not even getting the crystals, maybe seeing what energies those crystals invoke and finding different ways of pulling that energy into your everyday life. They have offered different talks about different planetary placements, different things. So these could be even checking out those different points and learning about those energies. Ooh, look at this. What's going on here? Oh, I think do we have him out here? No, maybe not. Thank you, guys. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, no, we don't have him. So we have here Rick BL. They really need some kind of like phonetics or something on the side here. Oh, look at this chariot energy that he's bringing. Cancer, look at this. He is the ruler of the divine chariot. And this, if I remember, that's Zeus. Yes. And this is Mars, and Zeus is the energies that are associated with him. So very forward-moving energy. Zeus is that directed goals, that achievement. Mars is it's literally the solar energy in motion. And it's directed energy. Both have these arrows. Look at this look at this motion here. Time to act upon some things here, Cancer. But this is the ruler of the divine chariot. So I'm surprised he doesn't have any Cancer in his placements, but maybe his Mars is in Cancer. But this is a card of movement, dynamic action, coordination, teleport. To look at you about to teleport, fights and defeats chaos. And I really like that. I feel that sometimes when we're thinking about trusting that intuition, it can be a little nerve-wracking, it could be a little uncertain, but I feel like it is learning to fight that to teleport when that chaos comes, to teleport around it. to find yourself when you do get in that chaotic space. How do you coordinate? How do you get back into the higher realms? How do you keep that chariot moving when you get to like a sticky bog or something? We got to move the horses this way, we got to move the horses that way, we got to get out and push with the horses. So how we work with this. But Rick Biel, we have a little quote down here. He says, "I shelter you from storms and show you how to use your Merkaba to become a chariot of divine power." And I love that, that Merkaba, that triangle where you have one triangle facing up and the other triangle facing down, that Merkaba energy. There's this meditation actually by this one astrologer. She does intuitive astrology, Molly McCord, that I really enjoy. It's the Aquarian light code download. This is really cool. And she mentions, picturing this Merkaba and expanding this energy, this light energy that's going on here. It can be a very purifying experience. So that even gives me, if you're needing some help kind of moving through some things, some guided meditations to speak with these angels to help you move through this stuff here. But I like that this shelter you from storms, knowing that you're divinely protected. How would you move if you were divinely protected? That of course you may make mistakes along the way, but that's the whole point. Sometimes we got to make mistakes, but then we learn from them. But I like this energy too, because at the bottom here, some crystals, or maybe the energy that this crystal evokes, may be something to think about. But smoky quartz may be working with that energy, thinking about what that involves. I don't think I have any smoky quartz. I think I just have a crystal, just regular crystal quartz. But that can be very centering energy, even like setting aside, maybe even like staring aside at some kind of feeling that energy. Another time, the full moon is another energy of another focus. So maybe there's something that's going on with the full moon. Actually, how appropriate that this full moon energy come up, considering that we've had 2 full moons during this month. So that could be this Capricorn full moon. I'd say look at the Capricorn part of your chart, see what's going on in that placement, what's kind of happening there, where things are kind of getting back on track. And then the last energy here is just go. Just go, Cancer. Whatever that means, go for it. Get the things moving, and know that there are going to be fights along the way. There may be some defeats. There are going to be some wins, and there's going to be successes. And there's at the end of all of that is going to be wisdom, and there's going to be understanding, and then being able to pass this experience along to others to help keep that driving force going, to keep us all walking towards home, to get us all back towards that energy of source. So that's really cool, Cancer. I'm with it. I think I'm going to leave that there. So stay mindful out there, Cancer. Keep raising that vibration through the roof. Sense the moon, Cancer. Feel around, seize the day and the night. And I will catch you on the next one. I'm going to catch you Jupiter Day.